feel like there is a very anticipated story that everyone wants to hear. I went shopping with Iris, Cece, and Ina. It was indeed I who was abandoned. And I'm here to tell you about the top 10 anime betrayal moment that I experienced. It was so scary. It came from nowhere. Backstabbed. Okay. Here is what happened. We were shopping around and, you know, Cece was like zooming. She got the zoomies. She was like racing through the store. And you know, normally like I shop pretty quickly as well, you know, when it comes to like clothing and stuff, you know, I glance pretty quickly. But I just wanted to like walk slower because, you know, I just wanted to take in all of New York around me, right? So she was zooming ahead. So I was with Iris and Ina. And suddenly, this guy, like, calls out to us. And I was like, hey. And I made eye contact with this guy. And then he was like, oh, he said some very nice compliments. I'll just put it that way. But the thing is, it's not that when it comes to ignoring people, I find it hard to ignore someone when one, you've made eye contact, and two, they have given you a compliment. I feel I can't bring it in me to fully ignore them. So I gave them one of like, you know, the, oh, thank you, and then I turn around to continue talking to my friends because that's how you kind of initiate, oh, sorry, I'm with people at the moment. It was a great human interaction, gold star, but I'm going back to my friends. I turn around, there's no one there. And obviously, because there's no one there, I am now trapped in a conversation with this person. You know, I don't really know what they were talking about. I was just nodding and smiling. They asked me where I was from, and then I was like, oh, yeah, from Australia. Yeah, you know, visiting, yeah. And then he starts talking about his line of work. I just thought he was someone who worked there. Like, you know, because all the shop attendees are really friendly in New York. You know, they come up to you, they're like, oh my god, do you need any help? Let me know if you need like a changing room. That, if you're holding up a piece of like clothing, they'll be like, oh my god, that looks so good on you. You know? And the way this you know, person was dressed seemed very like tip-top. I thought he worked there, you know? But then started telling me about his Instagram. And then he gave me a card. And then he tried to invite me to a party that he was going to that night. And I was like, oh, it's okay. And then he made me take a picture of his card. And it had many things on there. I think so. I came to the conclusion that he indeed did not work there. Because on the card there were several things that this person seemed to work in. I don't know. It said there was a fashion stylist, and then there was martial artist. I don't know. I had a quick glimpse and then I was, oh, wow. I don't know. Anyway. And then I started like inching away because I realized no one was around me. you know, I was like, oh my god, I don't want to lose my friends. And then, you know, I started inching away, and I was like, oh, it was great meeting you. Goodbye. And then I left. And then I see Iris watching from a distance. She came back to see. She came back. And then the other two were just fine-dandly shopping. And I was like, you all ditched me. How could you?
She came up to me and she was like, you guys abandoned me!
How could you all ditch me like this? And then they were all like, babe, you're supposed to ignore them. And I'm like, Top 10 anime betrayal. It's fine. I deleted the picture of the card. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm sure he was just being nice. Because we circled back around again. And then he was talking to like an actual shop attendee. But I felt really bad because the shop attendee wasn't looking at him, nor really listening to him. And then like we walked past him as a group, and then he looked at us and was like, hey, my Aussie friends! And I was like, hi. And then the shop attendee looked up at me and was like, I think he's just an overly friendly person. Which is not a good match for introverts like us. Which brings me to my next point of why I felt so betrayed. Is because the token extrovert in our group was nowhere to be seen. Cece! You should have saved me! It's alright. She said she felt bad afterwards. She was busy shopping. That's true.
You do not stop walking, guys! I didn't even notice. I didn't mean to! I felt a little bit bad. I've learned my lesson. Next time I'll walk in the back. Guys, don't worry. I'll protect you.
I know I love myself too. But why? I know I love myself too. But why? You've been a very good crony.